Welcome to another episode on Ciel Planet. Today we are going to talk about HR's ability to drive change. A few years ago when I was studying about EFQM, I learned something important. I learned that leaders have 5 critical things to do, 5 critical tasks. One of them is to drive change from the front. So they need to build systems which will facilitate this change. They need to enthuse their workforce. They need to reward and recognize people who are able to adapt to these changes very well. They need to nudge people who are lagging behind. All of these changes impact people, their behaviors, their morale, their habits. So this is an HR subject really. In today's time, I think it's more important than ever before because there are so many changes which are happening around, and there are management consultants who are telling us that changes have to be driven pre-emptively. So the question is, can HR do this? We said this is an HR subject. Of course they can. So I think firstly, they need to really partner well with the business. A few years ago, a new term got coined called HRBP, HR Business Partners. The idea was that these HRBPs would partner well with the business, attract the right talent, craft out the right kind of onboarding process, engage well with them, develop them, retain them, and so on and so forth. But has it really happened? HRBP is just an expression for the need of partnering. I think this need is perennial and this will always be there. HR needs to understand where business is standing, what their imperatives are and what is troubling them and why this change is happening. Only then they will be able to communicate effectively to the workforce. I think that's the first thing HR needs to do. And secondly, I think it's about how they really take it to the place of action. I have seen so many HR minds who hesitate to go to the place of action, to the shop floor, to the market, to the supply chain centers, and so on and so forth. So unless you go there, relate to people, mingle with them, understand what challenges they're really facing, what opportunities lie there in the market, you can never really be able to put this across in a meaningful way. The first level supervisors, the second level supervisors need to really understand mere announcement of this change is not going to work. Business leaders, of course, have their own KPIs and they are concerned about measuring those, but the effectiveness, the ability of an organization to implement and drive a change depends upon the organization's culture. So who sets this? Who is really taking accountability of it? Of course, the line managers, the people, but HR is kind of custodian. So it is it's natural that they need to really nudge the first level and second level supervisors and so on to demonstrate the right behaviors on the floor. And finally, it's about creating that bandwidth. We have seen in today's time, we don't have assistants and there are a lot of admin tasks that comes to the HR leader's desk. So if he or she is concerned about regulatory filing to payroll to employee grievances and all of that, when does he or she have the bandwidth to really go to the market, understand what's happening, and then drive this change? In summary, I think it's about treating patients. Doctors treat patients with the help of medical assistants. So similarly, I think the CXOs have to drive change with the help of HR. Thank you.